Well, what we found was that increasingly voters are finding it difficult to vote, whether it's on election day or early. Many of the people that vote early, weeks before or by mail, would have voted anyway. What we had discovered in several states, and now it's increasing to in dozens of states, is that if voters have an opportunity to vote at a location that's more central to where they work, where they shop, where they drive, where they take their children to school, they're more likely to show up. Number of cities have begun to locate large, what we call big box voting places at places like Fry's and Walmart, at hotels, where not just 5 or 6 voting places, but maybe 100 that are right off a freeway that have 100 parking spaces. And in the course of doing our research for the last 3 to 5 years, we've discovered that you can see as much as a 7, 8 to 10% increase, not just in voter turnout, but among people who would not have otherwise have voted. If in fact vote centers increase voter turnout, which we've seen happen, particularly among people who are not likely to vote, and it's worth noting here that there have been about a half a dozen other election reforms, including early voting, mail-in voting, election day registration, and what we call motor voter, where you can re-register to vote when you get your driver's license renewed. None of those have increased turnout. Of all the reforms, these election day vote centers are the only ones that have an appreciable effect. There is another reason why they're being adopted at a very rapid pace, and that is in the middle of a recession of the sort that we're having now, elections have become very expensive. It costs the city of Houston at least $1 million to conduct an election. Rental spaces of public schools, hiring up of poll workers, and of course buying voting machines. If you can have a smaller number of larger voting places, we think there's an efficiency gain.